Actually, nobody expects that somebody who has such a violent past could be a good father, because there's a huge contradiction on that. And how come a good father like him could be, ordering the killing of many, many people after he had a conversation with me, And he was, like I said, brutally honest with me in terms of the crimes he committed since I was, this age, 7-year-old. My father was telling me that he was a bandit, that he dedicated himself to the criminal activities, but perhaps I didn't realize how huge, how big was the organization he was running. He was called the Da Vinci of crime. So he committed a lot of crimes, and he was, he found in prohibition a very successful business.
Indeed, when you were 7, not too long after this infamous picture was taken, your father sat you down and said, "Son, I'm a bandit." From that moment, he didn't try to hide his crimes. In fact, if something came up in the paper, he would tell you, "That was me."
Yes.
He would take accountability for that. Juan Pablo, knowing at 7 the horrific crimes that your father is committing, how do you deal with that at 7 years old?
Well, I have no options, and at the same time, as I told you, there's a lot of contradictions because I know that at the same time my father was a loving man. Even if I went to visit him at his office, most of the other sons that I know, they used to call the secretaries of their fathers to just to have a meeting with their fathers. It wasn't my case. I just go to the office, knock the door, and he will stop everything that he was doing just to give me a hug or a good advice. And
he was a loving father.
Yeah, and also he never encouraged me to follow him. And now that I became a father too of a 10-year-old kid called Juan Emilio, I can realize why he did that, because he always encouraged me to study, to do something else, to discover my own passions in life. And he told me, if you want to be a doctor, I'm going to give you the best hospital. If you want to be a hairdresser, you're going to have a saloon and you're going to have the best. But choose what you want to do, study, do something different. It's like when you truly love your son and you are a drug dealer, you will never wish that kind of life for your son.
Right.
So this is how I understood that he was always encouraging me to follow another path, a different path in life.
But you said before, even though your father was trying to put you on these paths away from a life of crime, you said at 7 you felt you were suffering the same as if you'd ordered some of those murders yourself.
Yes, because when my father, there's a very sad day when my father quit politics and ordered the killing of the Minister of Justice in Colombia. It was the year 1984. That day, the Colombian institution and the drug trafficking institution defeated the Colombian democracy.
Right.
And the same day, my life changed forever, and Colombia's life also and destiny changed. The next day, we were in Panama under the protection of General Noriega, the strongest man in Panama. But I left my friends, my school, my regular and everyday activities. Everything was disappeared just suddenly, and our freedom too. And the authorities, they were just pursuing us like if we were responsible. I was just as this kid you're seeing now, and they pursue us as we were the ones who gave the orders to kill the minister. There was nobody recognizes my father as an individual. They were after the whole family.
Indeed, not long after this photo was taken, after your father confessed who he was and what he'd done, things got a lot worse, as you said. He was publicly humiliated by the Colombian establishment and rejected in his efforts to enter legitimate politics. Your father, in a spate of rage, ordered the murder of Rodrigo Lara, the Colombian Minister of Justice. And as you just said, that changed everything for you and your family. You went from growing up in mansions, from not wanting anything, with reportedly 10 houses, 100 cars, your own airport, and these luxury trappings that have been well documented, right? Your own zoo with these infamous hippos and everything, to a life on the run, narrowly surviving assassination attempts and living hand to mouth despite your father's reported billions. These photos here are from that period. What are we looking at here?
Which photo I was seeing on the screen is?
This one on here on the right.
Okay, well, this is the Monaco building. This is the first terrorist attack that happened in Colombian's history. It was 700 kilos of dynamite. The Cali cartel put us in our home. Actually, the bigger picture is my little sister's bed, and I was supposed to stay during the night in the upper right image of the screen. And my mother saved us. I almost died because all the ceiling fell and it was crushing me against the bed, and so I couldn't breathe. And my mother saved me. So it's a miracle that I'm still speaking here about this story, because we were supposed to die that day. It was I will never forget that day. It's like my second birthday. It's like it was January 13, 1988. And after this terrorist attack, my father ordered, the explosion of at least 200 car bombs.
In vengeance for the attack on you.
And of course, after that, I have several discussions with my father, because, I wasn't, even if I was a victim of this terrorist attack, I never felt that I was, because I was a victim, okay, I was authorized to put bombs everywhere. So I asked him to stop doing that. And he said, you forgot that the first terrorist attack was against you, your little sister, and your mother. He said to me, he said also, I didn't invent terrorism. Right. I'm just using it as a payback for what they do to my family. And now that I'm a father, and I'm not trying to justify him at all, because even when I have him in front of me, I was against his own violence, and I asked him many times to stop. But he was one of the most powerful guys on earth. Not even the U.S. Army and the military, the CIA, the DEA, nobody could stop him. I was trying to do my best from my point of view, from the point of a son, but he never listened, he never cared. I even told him, look, he put a bomb, a car bomb, and he killed 23 people in a bullfight ring. And I asked him, "What? Are you crazy? My grandmother, your mother, loves that. She goes there very often. You could even kill her." And when he answered, "A war is a war, and anybody who needs to die will die," well, this is like my first moment when I understood that if a guy like my father didn't even care about even his mother's life, so he was losing control of the situation and his own feelings, and there was no way out of that.